The galaxy was at war, and every world knew it. Countless alien fleets moved from star to star, destroying everything in their path. This war had already burned planets and crushed civilizations. Many powerful species joined together to stop the enemy empire that called itself the Zarkan Dominion. But even with their combined strength, they struggled to win any battle. In the middle of this chaos, news spread across the galaxy like fire. Humanity had sent only one ship to the war, one single ship against an enemy that used thousands. The Alien Council could not believe it. They laughed, mocked, and joked about Earth. To them, humans were young, weak, and too new to the galaxy. The alien rulers sat around a great table, their holograms glowing blue in the center of the war room. Only one ship, one alien lord said, shaking his head. Humans must be fools, another replied. They do not understand real war, a third added. The whole council laughed. Their voices echoed across the chamber. They were sure this human ship would be destroyed the moment it entered the battlefield. But far away, moving quietly through deep space, was the human ship HFY Valor. It was small compared to alien war cruisers, but its silver hull shined with a strange, smooth light. The ship moved calmly, without fear, as if it already knew its path. Inside the Valor, Captain Jalen Ward stood at the front window, watching the stars pass slowly. He was a calm man with sharp eyes that missed nothing. His crew was small, only 30 people, but every one of them was trained for something special. The crew worked silently, their faces focused. They did not speak about fear or danger. They knew the galaxy was laughing at them, but they did not care. They knew something no one else knew, something that made their confidence unshakable. The Valor traveled deeper toward the war zone. Every passing minute brought it closer to thousands of enemy ships. But the crew did not panic. Instead, they checked their systems again and again. Every system was running perfectly. Every weapon was waiting. Every shield was ready. Unknown to the galaxy, the Valor carried a secret. Its core held a new human technology, something Earth had never shown to anyone. Even friendly species had no idea it existed. Some whispered that the ship carried a weapon powerful enough to break stars. Others believed the ship was controlled by an AI far smarter than any alien machine. No one knew the truth, and that mystery created fear even before the ship arrived. As the Valor crossed into the edge of the war zone, alien scanners activated. Thousands of eyes turned to the small human ship, ready to watch it get destroyed. The Alien Council prepared to laugh again. But suddenly, something strange happened. The moment the scanners touched the Valor, they flickered, flashed, and then died. Every alien screen went black for a second. Officers panicked, trying to restart their systems. "What is happening?" a commander shouted. "Is it a signal jam? Is it a weapon? Is it a malfunction?" No one knew. The Valor kept moving forward, slow and steady, as if nothing had happened. A deep silence spread through the alien fleets. They watched the human ship with growing fear. This was not normal. This was not weak. The first crack in their confidence had appeared. For the first time, the galaxy stopped laughing, and the HSS Valor continued drifting closer, closer, entering the battlefield like a ghost. The real fight had not even begun, but the galaxy had already made its worst mistake. It underestimated humanity. The HSS Valor moved deeper into enemy territory, its silver body gliding through the darkness like a quiet ghost ship. Captain Jalen Ward stood at the command deck, his eyes sharp and calm. Every heartbeat brought them closer to the battlefield. But the captain showed no fear. His crew trusted him more than they trusted any weapon on board. The crew of the Valor was small, only 30 humans, but every one of them had been chosen for a reason. They were not ordinary soldiers. They were trained for missions that no other human even knew existed. Each of them carried secrets, skills, and silent confidence. Lieutenant Mara, the ship's chief engineer, checked the power core again. Her hands were steady, but her mind was racing. She knew what slept inside the Valor's core. She knew the truth that the galaxy did not, and she knew why the Council scanners had died the moment they touched the ship. "It's stable," she whispered to herself, "but when it wakes up, nothing will be the same." On the other side of the room, Tactical Officer Ran Yao studied the battlefield map. Hundreds of red dots represented enemy ships. They were massive, heavily armed, and more than ready for war. To any normal crew, the sight would be terrifying, but Ren simply adjusted his screen and nodded. "This is fine," he said quietly. Meanwhile, the alien fleets prepared for the Valor's arrival. The Zarkan Dominion's high commander watched the human ship with cold amusement. "Look at them," he said, "a tiny vessel moving into our teeth." His officers laughed, their metallic armor clinking in the dim light. "They want to impress the galaxy," another alien sneered. "Let them be destroyed." But the laughter did not last. Their screens showed the Valor moving straight toward the center of the battlefield. It was not trying to hide, not try to run. It was coming directly for them. "Why are they not afraid?" a Zarkan officer asked. "Because they are fools," the commander replied, but his voice no longer sounded sure. Inside the Valor, strange signals hummed through the walls. Lights flickered for a second, and the floor vibrated softly. Mara looked up, eyes wide. "It's waking up," she whispered. Captain Jalen turned toward her. "Is the core reacting on its own?" Mara nodded. "It senses danger. It is preparing." The captain stepped closer to the window and watched the enemy fleets gather. Thousands of ships, bigger, louder, stronger, lined up in perfect formation. Their engines glowed red like angry suns. But the Valor did not slow down. It kept moving, silent and steady. Suddenly, a strange pulse spread through the ship. It was like a heartbeat, deep and powerful. A low hum filled every corner of the Valor. The lights dimmed, then brightened again. Ren checked his screen and froze. "Captain, every enemy ship just scanned us again," he said. And their scanners shut down again," Ren replied, disbelief in his voice. On every alien bridge, officers panicked. Their scanners flashed and died as soon as they touched the Valor. Some believed it was a virus, others believed it was a shield, but no one understood the truth. The Valor's secret technology was not defensive. It was alive. It responded to threats, studied them, and prepared to break them. And the crew trusted it with their lives. As the ship moved closer, Captain Jalen finally gave the first command. "All stations, battle readiness." His voice was calm, almost peaceful. The crew moved instantly, pressing switches, unlocking systems, preparing for impact. The Zarkan High Commander leaned forward, watching the Valor with fear he tried to hide. "Destroy it," he ordered. His fleet readied their weapons, targeting the lone human ship. But before a single alien ship could fire, the Valor's core pulsed once more, stronger than before. The ship's hull glowed with a faint blue light. A wave of energy rippled outward like a silent scream across space. Every alien weapon system flickered, then died. A quiet terror spread across the enemy fleet. The humans had not fired a single shot, yet the galaxy's strongest weapons had already fallen silent, and the Valor kept moving forward, as if this was only the beginning. The Zarkan Dominion had prepared for a glorious victory. Thousands of their warships floated across the stars, forming a deadly wall of metal, fire, and power. Their lasers were charged, their shields glowing bright. Their engines thundered like storms. But all of that power meant nothing when their weapons suddenly died. One moment, everything worked. The next moment, every ship went silent, like the battlefield itself had forgotten how to breathe. Crew members shouted on every alien bridge. "Our cannons are offline. Reboot the systems." Weapons not responding. The commanders tried to keep control, but fear spread fast. Nothing like this had ever happened in the history of their empire. Not even their enemies from past wars could disable a whole fleet. Yet one small human ship had done it without firing a shot. Meanwhile, the HSS Valor moved forward peacefully. Its engines made no loud sound. Its lights blinked softly. Its calm entrance into the battlefield felt like an insult to every alien watching. Inside the Valor, Captain Jalen Ward stood tall, one hand behind his back. His eyes studied the silent enemy fleets. "Run, report," he said. "Enemy ships are frozen," Ren answered, still shocked. "They cannot target us. They cannot fire at us, sir. They cannot even move." "Mara, The engineer looked at her screen with deep focus. The core is adapting, she said quietly. It sees every enemy ship as a threat, and it's disabling them automatically. Captain Jalen nodded once. Good, let it prepare. The alien high commander slammed a metal fist on his control panel. This is impossible. Humans cannot do this. His officers stared at the fading lights of their ship. Commander, we are blind. Nothing is working. Something inside that ship is shutting us down. The commander snarled. Then crush them with numbers. Surround them. Thousands of alien ships tried to move into formation, but most of them could not even activate their engines. Only a few elite cruisers, protected by stronger cores, managed to shift positions. They formed a tight circle around the Valor, hoping to trap it. Inside the human ship, Ren watched the movement. Captain, a few ships are still active. They want to surround us. Jalen smiled slightly. Let them try. On the alien flagship bridge, officers felt a wave of relief. Commander, some of our ships are moving into position. The commander bared his sharp teeth. Good, now destroy that human ship. The active alien cruisers aimed their remaining weapons at the Valor, charging everything they had left. Red lights flashed as their guns powered up. If even one of those blasts hit the Valor, it could tear the ship apart. But before the aliens could fire, the Valor's hull shimmered again. A quiet blue ripple spread from the ship's surface, like water disturbed by a stone. Mara gasped. It's shifting its armor, activating the phase shell. Ren stared. I thought that was only a theory. It was, Mara replied, until today. The alien cruisers fired all at once. Massive blasts of plasma and energy tore across the battlefield. But when the attacks hit the Valor, they passed straight through it, as if the ship wasn't even there. On the alien flagship, silence fell. Their strongest weapons had passed through the human ship like empty light. Not a scratch appeared on the Valor. Not a flicker of damage. Nothing. What were we fighting? An alien officer whispered. No ship can do that. Captain Jalen looked calm as ever. The phase shell is stable, Mara reported. We are untouchable for now. Jalen stepped forward. Good, he said. Now we show them what humanity really brought to this battlefield. The lights inside the Valor dimmed. The ship's core pulsed again. Louder, stronger, alive. The battlefield, once loud with alien power, now echoed with only one sound. The heartbeat of the human ship. And every alien felt a chill, because they finally understood. Humanity had not come to fight a battle. They had come to change the war. Silence filled the battlefield, a silence so thick that even the alien commanders felt its weight pressing against their armor. The Zarkan Dominion had expected a quick victory, a simple destruction of a tiny human ship, but now their strongest weapons had passed through the Valor like harmless light, leaving not even a mark. The High Commander's eyes widened. No ship can do that, he whispered. His officers looked terrified. Commander, our weapons mean nothing to them. Another officer added, it is like the human ship is not real. But the Valor was very real, and it was only getting stronger. Inside the ship, the hum from the core grew deeper, louder, almost like a living creature waking from a long sleep. Blue energy veins lit up across the floor and walls, glowing brighter with each pulse. Mara checked her readings, her heart racing. Captain, the core is entering phase 2. Jalen turned slowly. Is it stable? For now, she answered, but phase 2 means it is preparing for something big. Ren looked at the battlefield map, watching enemy ships struggle. They still cannot target us, he said, and they cannot fire at us. Captain Jalen nodded once. Good. Then it is time to take the next step. He pressed a command on his chair, and the Valor's outer hull began to shift. Smooth plates slid aside, revealing hidden channels glowing with impossible blue light. The ship's surface transformed into a living pattern of energy and metal. It looked less like a human ship now, and more like something from another dimension. Every alien ship still active scanned it again. Every scanner died again. Fear spread faster now. Whispers filled the alien bridges. What kind of humans build this? This technology should not exist. No one in the galaxy can do this. On the Zarkin flagship, the High Commander growled, "They are one ship. We are thousands. Charge all remaining weapons and fire again." But when the alien fleet tried to charge their guns, nothing happened. Blue sparks flickered across their weapon systems before they shut down completely. Mara smiled weakly. "The core is not only defending us," she said. "It is attacking every weapon aimed at us." Rin stared at her, shocked. "So the Valor is fighting before we give any command?" Mara nodded. "It learns faster than we do." Captain Jalen's eyes narrowed as he watched the enemy struggle. This is why the Valor was built. Not to fight like other ships, but to control the battlefield. Suddenly, the core pulsed again. A blinding blue flash burst from the Valor. A quiet wave of energy rippled outward, smooth and silent. It passed through space like a silent storm. No explosion, no sound, just pure cold power. The first alien ships hit by the wave froze instantly. Engines stopped, lights dimmed, every system collapsed. Crew members stared helplessly as their ships stopped responding. Some ships drifted into each other. Some spun out of formation. Some simply shut down completely, powerless and dead. The High Commander's voice cracked. "What is happening? Why are our ships falling?" His officers shouted in panic. "Our reactors are shutting down. We have no power. The wave overloaded everything." Captain Jalen watched the chaos without emotion. "Phase 2 complete," Mara reported. "The core has disabled 70% of the enemy fleet." Rin swallowed hard. "So what is Phase 3? Mara glanced at the glowing core room. I do not know. No one has ever seen it." Outside, the battlefield looked unreal. Thousands of alien ships floated powerless, lights flickering like dying stars. And in the center of it all, the Valor shined brighter than ever, like a single star challenging the darkness of an entire empire. Captain Jalen stepped forward and spoke with calm determination. "Prepare the Valor for Phase 3. His crew stared at him with a mix of fear and respect. Because if Phase 2 could crush a fleet, what could Phase 3 do? The galaxy was about to find out, and nothing would ever be the same. The battlefield drifted in a silent shock. Thousands of Zarkin ships floated powerless, their lights dim and their engines cold. The great empire that once crushed entire star systems now looked helpless in front of one small human ship. Inside the Valor, the glowing core pulsed like a living heart. Every pulse sent a vibration through the floors, as if the ship itself was preparing for something greater. Mara stared at her screens, breath caught in her throat. "Captain, the core is entering Phase 3. Even she, the one who trained directly under the scientists who built the Valor, did not fully understand Phase 3. Captain Jalen Ward stood silent for a long moment. He knew this moment was coming. He knew this technology was dangerous, not just for the enemy, but for humanity as well. Rin stepped closer, voice tense. "Sir, we need to know what Phase 3 does." Jalen nodded slowly. "We all need to know." He pressed a command, and a hidden screen opened. A message from Earth's top secret program appeared. "Project Starforge, the project that created the Valor." A recording began to play. It showed Dr. Elias Rourke, the chief scientist behind the ship. His voice was calm but heavy. "If you're seeing this message, Captain, then the Valor is activating Phase 3. I must tell you the truth, the galaxy thinks Earth is weak, but that is because we wanted them to think so while they underestimated us. We built something they could never imagine. The Valor is not just a ship. It is a battlefield controller." Rin blinked in shock. "Battlefield controller?" Mara whispered. "That means it can shape the battle itself." The recording continued. "Phase 3 is the quantum veil. It allows the Valor to rewrite the rules of space around it. Enemy ships will lose control, enemy weapons will fail, even their shields will collapse. But be warned, Captain. Phase 3 was never tested in a real war. Once activated, the Valor may evolve beyond our expectations." The message ended, leaving the room filled with a heavy silence. A single human ship, able to control space itself. No alien mind could have imagined this. On the Zarkin flagship, panic spread as the ships around them fell dead in space. The High Commander grabbed his officer by the arm. Find a way to stop that ship. Anything. Hack, jam, overload, anything. Commander, nothing works, the officer replied. The Valor is breaking the battlefield. The commander's eyes narrowed, his voice shaking with rage. Humans hid this power from us. They tricked us. Fear gripped him more than anger, because he realized that the galaxy had never truly known humanity. Back inside the Valor, the lights dimmed suddenly. The blue glow from the core shot through every wall, every corridor, every console. The ship seemed to take a long, deep breath. Then, everything turned silent, completely silent. Captain, Mara whispered, the quantum veil is forming. Outside, space rippled like water around the Valor. Colors twisted, stars warped, and gravity bent in strange shapes. Alien ships began to shake violently as the space around them shifted. Some ships twisted slightly. Some drifted out of position as if pulled by invisible hands. Others spun helplessly, unable to regain control. Rin stared at the map in disbelief. Sir, the battlefield is changing shape. The Valor is controlling it, Mara added. It is bending the space around every enemy ship. Captain Jalen took a slow breath. This is humanity's answer. Not numbers, not fear, but intelligence and evolution. The Zarkin High Commander watched in horror as the ships broke apart without a single shot fired at them. Some ships crashed into one another. Some fell into drift spirals. Some simply shut down as the veil stripped their power. Retreat, he screamed. Retreat now. But it was too late. The quantum veil expanded like a growing storm, swallowing more ships with every pulse. And at the center of it all, the Valor shined brighter, stronger, alive. Captain Jalen watched the impossible power unfold before him. This was Phase 3. This was humanity's real strength. And the galaxy had no idea what Phase 4 would bring. The quantum veil spread across the battlefield like a silent storm, bending light, twisting gravity, and breaking every weapon that tried to rise against the Valor. Alien ships that once glowed with deadly power now flickered like dying candles. The Zarkin Dominion, feared across the galaxy, found itself helpless before a single human ship. Inside the Valor, the core pulsed faster, the blue light racing through every corridor. Mara stared at the shifting energy on her screen. Captain, the veil is stabilizing. It's stronger than we expected. Rin stepped closer. Sir, enemy ships cannot move. They cannot fire. They cannot even target us. Captain Jalen Ward watched the battlefield with cold focus. This is humanity's moment, he said quietly, and we must use it well. Outside, the veil twisted again, expanding in sharp waves. Alien cruisers near the center shook violently as space itself pulled on their hulls. Some ships crumpled from the stress, metal bending like thin paper. Others spun out of control, drifting into the shattered remains of their allies. Every pulse of the veil carried a new shockwave, and every shockwave crushed another part of the Zarkin fleet. On the Zarkin command flagship, chaos ruled. Officers scrambled across the bridge, shouting warnings. Our stabilizers are failing. We are losing control of the engines. Commander, the space around us is tearing open. The High Commander felt fear stab into his heart. Are you telling me the humans are reshaping the battlefield? Why, yes, Commander, the officer replied. The Valor is controlling everything. The commander growled in rage and terror. This cannot be happening. Humans are primitive. They should not have this power. But the evidence was all around him. The galaxy's strongest war armada was being dismantled without a single direct shot. Back inside the Valor, the crew worked calmly, not with arrogance, but with purpose, because they understood what this mission meant. Humanity had faced extinction many times in its history, but every time it had survived by adapting, learning, and evolving faster than its enemies. Captain Jalen looked at the glowing lines running through the floor. "This is what they never understood," he said softly. "They measured strength by ships and weapons. But humanity measures strength by ideas." Suddenly, Rin gasped. "Captain, something new is happening." Jalen turned. "What is it?" Rin pointed to the map. "The veil is moving on its own." Before the captain could respond, the Valor surged forward. The quantum veil followed behind like a great blue storm. The ship moved with impossible speed, bending space around it, not flying through the battlefield, but rewriting the battlefield around itself. Alien ships that tried to escape found themselves trapped. Every attempt to run was swallowed by the warped space. Their engines fired, but the veil pulled them back like invisible chains. The High Commander watched the Valor come closer. Not fast, but unstoppable, like fate moving across the stars. "Prepare self-destruct," he shouted. "If we cannot win, we will at least take them with us." But when he pressed the command, nothing happened. The ship refused to explode. Even destruction was impossible under the veil. Mara whispered, "It's overriding everything, even their emergency systems." Rin swallowed hard. "Sir, are we controlling the battlefield? Or is the core controlling it?" For the first time, Captain Jalen hesitated. The Valor was powerful, too powerful, and the core was evolving faster than any human creation ever had. Outside, the veil tightened, crushing the last few active alien ships. Metal screamed, engines died, and fire burst silently into space. The Zarkan Dominion had lost, not to numbers, not to brute force, but to a single ship with a mind of its own. Captain Jalen took a slow breath. "We end this now," he said. "Prepare for the final phase." Mara's eyes widened. "Sir, Phase 4. The captain nodded. "Yes, activate Phase 4. The Valor's core pulsed once, and the entire battlefield shook as if the universe itself had taken breath. Phase 4 was coming, and no one knew if the galaxy would survive it. The battlefield lay frozen, locked in the grip of the quantum veil. Thousands of Zarkan ships floated like defeated ghosts, powerless and broken. And at the center of it all, the HSS Valor glowed brighter than any star, its core pulsing like the beating heart of a rising giant. Inside the Valor, every screen dimmed, every light flickered, and every console shook. Mara stared at the readings, unable to breathe. "Captain, Phase 4 is activating." Rin swallowed hard. "Sir, if Phase 3 changed the battlefield, what will Phase 4 do?" Captain Jalen Ward did not answer right away. He stood silent, watching the stars twist around the Valor. He knew Phase 4 had never been used, never been tested, never even been fully explained. Earth scientists had considered it too dangerous. But this battlefield demanded it. Humanity demanded it. Finally, Jalen said quietly, "Phase 4 is the Ascension Protocol." What does that mean? Mara whispered. "It means the Valor will stop being a ship and become something much more." Before they could speak again, the core pulsed. A white-blue blast of energy exploded outward. The entire ship shook like a living creature stretching its wings for the first time. Outside, something impossible happened. The Valor began to change shape, not like metal shifting or machinery moving, but like reality bending around it. The veil expanded, becoming a vast sphere of pulsing light. Alien ships caught inside it trembled violently, their hulls cracking under the pressure of warped space. On the Zarkan flagship, the High Commander fell to his knees. What is that ship becoming?" Officers backed away from the screen as the light grew brighter and brighter. "This is not technology," one whispered. "This is a force of nature." Inside, the Valor's walls shimmered. The ship's structure thinned, becoming almost transparent. Mara stepped back, eyes wide. "It's merging with the core." Rin stared at the glowing floor. "The ship is becoming the weapon." Jalen stepped forward. This is what Earth created. Not a warship, but a guardian. The Ascension Protocol finished its transformation. The Valor was no longer a simple ship. Its hull glowed like living energy. Its engines moved like shifting stars. The ship was now half machine, half energy, a being of pure quantum force. The Zarkan Dominion's last active ships opened fire out of panic. Beams of plasma and missiles shot toward the Valor. But the moment they touched the veil, they dissolved into harmless sparks. The Valor responded, not with weapons, but with a single pulse, a quiet, gentle pulse, like a heartbeat across the stars. The pulse reached every Zarkan ship. The lights inside them flickered, and then went completely dark, not damaged, not destroyed, just silent, as if the ships themselves had fallen asleep forever. The High Commander trembled as alarms died around him. No, not like this. He reached for his command panel, but it was dead. Everything was dead. Outside, the Valor hovered before the flagship, glowing like a newborn star. Captain Jalen's voice echoed across the comms. Cold, calm, unstoppable. Zarkan Dominion, surrender now. The High Commander collapsed. He understood the truth. He could not fight this. No empire could. He lowered his head. We surrender. The transmission ended, and silence filled the battlefield once more. But this time, it was a peaceful silence, a victorious silence. Inside the Valor, the core softened its glow. The ship slowly returned to its original form, metal replacing the shimmering energy. Mara exhaled for the first time in minutes. Captain, the Ascension Protocol is complete. Ren sat down, shaking. We ended a war with one ship. Jalen looked out at the stars. No, he said quietly. We showed the galaxy what humanity truly is. A species that survives, evolves, and rises, even when the galaxy laughs. The lone ship turned slowly toward home. Its mission complete. Its legend only beginning. Humanity had arrived, and the galaxy would never laugh again.